Russell's prose style. Unpopular essays. Russell is the greatest prose writer of 20th century. One of the excellencies which distinguish Russell's work from others is his power of simple, lucid, easy, comprehensive, and brilliant style of prose writing. Style is not only the dress of thoughts, but also the physiognomy of the soul. Russell's style reflects his own personality. In unpopular essays, Russell is propagating his own creed, that is, rational attitude. In the prologue to his book, he has declared that most of the following essays are concerned to combat with the growth of the life dogmatism. The very title, Unpopular Essay, is partly ironic and does not at all have the implication that the essays in the volume are not of popular interest. As a matter of fact, these essays have the widest range of interest. They appeal to the man in the street, the intellectual, the politician, the philosopher, the scientist, the teacher, as well as the ruling class. They are really popular essays. The only sense in which they can be called unpopular is that they deal with questions which almost everyone fights shy of discussing methodically because they have some uncomfortable implications. One of the most conspicuous characteristics of Russell's style is clarity, lucidity, simplicity, and grace. He is basically concerned with common man and his day-to-day problems, so he cannot afford to be metaphorical in his style. It is Russell's mastery that he conveys the philosophical and technical ideas in such a beautiful manner as is comprehensible for common man. This statement from Function of a Teacher is a finest example of clarity and lucidity. It should be the business of teachers to stand out the strife of parties. Another most valuable element in Russell's style is his capacity for making precise, condensed, and epigrammatic statements. These qualities are not accidental, but the result of his firm belief that mathematical precision should be the idea of expression. Although his sentences are short, crisp, and precise, yet they convey the idea of the writer in a crystal clear manner. For example, he says in the concluding paragraph of the superior virtue of the oppressed, children were idealized by Wordsworth and unidealized by Freud. Marx was the Wordsworth of the proletariat. Its Freud is still to come. Another most distinctive feature of Russell's style is that it is free from embellishments and ornamental effects. He does not take great pains in order to adorn his style. It is a sign of his intellectual brilliance that he writes effortlessly and spontaneously. His style is not uninteresting, dull, tedious, or monotonous in its effect. Rather, it attracts the attention of his readers. One more beautiful element of Russell's style is the use of argument and illustrations. The most valuable element in Russell's originality is his combination of the role of the philosopher, the prophet, the creative writer, and the social crusader. Another most attractive aspect of Russell's style is the use of irony, humor, wit, sarcasm, and anecdotes, through which he makes his essays highly readable without affecting their intellectual appeal. He uses irony, humor, and sarcasm in order to lighten the gravity of the tone of his writing and to give a pleasant flavor to his style. His wit is generally dry, though occasionally also gay. Russell mocks at Hegel by defining Hegel's absolute idea as pure thought, thinking about pure thought. Russell is a practical philosopher who fully stands by the implication of his philosophy. Like Plato and Aristotle, Russell conveys his philosophical ideas in a delightful style, which is easily digestible for reader. He has expressed his opinions in the unpopular essays on many subjects like politics, economics, psychology, ethics, education, morality, science, skepticism, civilization, communism, and so on. And in all these subjects, he uses a style which reflects his wide ranging mind and Catholic temper. Another dominant feature of Russell's style is his Catholic temper. Russell is a liberal philosopher. He suffers from no prejudices, pet aversions. He has described about every subject openly, without keeping any prejudice in his heart. His mind is large enough to take in its sweep all issues pertaining in human welfare. What is common to all his essays is their exposure of dogmatism and irrationality. Russell himself notes this fact in his essays. Russell's standpoint is made clear in Philosophy and Politics, where he denounces the dogmatism of the idealistic approach which has been popularized by Hegel and which became the basis of both Nazism and communism. He tells in the same essay, dogmatism leads to censorship, concealment, intolerance, intellectual dishonesty, and mental slavery. There is no doubt that Russell's voice is the voice of reason, moderation, and good sense, characteristic of 18th century. Russell is always aware of the limitations of reason and does not shut his eyes to things like beauty, nobility, and truthfulness, which transcends mere reason. Moreover, most of his concerns have little appeal for 18th century intellectuals, that is, his views about equality, irrespective of religion, color, nationality, race, sex, and his constant
preoccupation with
safeguarding the future of mankind. The view that there is a touch of Puritanism in his thought is true only to the extent that
a strong moral concern
always directs his thinking, but it is true in a sense that he has none of the fanaticism, one sidedness, and mid classness associated with Puritanism. However, the essays collected in Unpopular Essays are not free from shortcomings, though many of them are unavoidably connected with the basic aim of Russell's writings. For example, it tends to jar the reader's mind that Russell's discussion often comes back to or concludes in a plea for world government. Another shortcoming is that Russell sometimes repeats the same example in more than one essay. In one or two cases, Russell seems to write at unnecessary length. However, some of the essays which are more purely literary are free from these blemishes. To pen off, Russell's style is rich in devices such as parallelisms, antitheses, contrasts, similes, metaphors, and allusions. He attaches no undue importance to any particular ingredient of style. His style is unique as compared to Bacon, Carlyle, and Ruskin. Aldous Huxley beautifully remarks about his style as everything is perfectly clear and above board. Of German scholars, Bentley used to say that they dived deeper and came up muddier than any other. Bertrand Russell dives deep but comes up every time as clean as a whistle.
his life for
All its waywardness had a certain anachronistic consistency. His principles were curious, but such as they governed his actions. He was the last savior of a dead epoch. Instance of witty and epigrammatic style.